Well, first interview of 2025, Mr. Mike Davis joining us ahead of his fight February 1st in Saudi Arabia. Mike, how are you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good, man. You enjoy the holidays? Anything crazy go on?
No, but I saw my family. I feel like I saw my family for the first time in 2024 for
Wow.
Christmas. And I don't know what it was. I just guess I've been pretty busy and they're doing great. My family's doing a lot better and it's good to see. And I was happy to see that. I'm gonna move you down here though.
Move me wherever I gotta go, man. But a question just, to do with the New Year's, obviously first day of 2025. I guess like either professionally, personally, whatever it be, what are or is a goal that stands out to you or some goals that you really want to accomplish this year?
Um, I was literally just thinking about this too. I want to fight a minimum of 2 times this year. I'm sick of this one fight bull crap. I want to stay healthy. That is my only wish. My one wish is to just keep my health at a point that I can fight. I know even with injuries and all that, I can beat most of these people, but I want to be healthy, man. I just that's all I care about. And I know if I'm healthy, I get my 2 to 3 fights this year. Top 15 after this one, February 1st. We'll run it from there, and you guys will see my name a lot.
Well, and you're 4-1 in UFC, obviously riding a four fight win streak, but 5 fights done, 6 fights canceled, rescheduled. Like,
Yeah,
how stressful, how like anxiety inducing has that been?
it's not really all that bad.
No.
I know, it might get to some people, but I do stuff outside of the UFC, so I feel good when I accomplish the things that I'm doing outside of the cage. But this is my career. This is what people know me for. So not being able to be in there and to show that I'm still relevant, it sucks a little bit, but I'm here, and every time I show in the cage, they see it.
And some big goals for the year. We'll get into some of that and what's next. But first up, Faraz Ziam, how did this fight come to be? You guys have any history together or anything?
No, I was supposed to fight Dober
Hmm.
in July. I suffered that bicep tear, which is, strong now, feeling good. Um, yeah, I had plans for 2024, and that bicep tear kind of ruined it, put me in a little depressive spot for a bit. But once I was healthy, I reached out to my management and said, I'm like 90%. Let's get a fight for January, February. And that's what they came back with. Two of my teammates, Terrence McKinney, who actually fought my opponent, and Lucas Alexander are both fighting February 1st as well. So I actually asked to fight in Saudi Arabia, and I guess he was ready for a fight too.
So you guys are all taking like the little team trip out there. Does that make
Yeah,
that big trip a little easier then?
it does. It's first time I think we're fighting three people on one from Fusion,
Hmm.
a little gym in a broke down, run down mall. Fusion Excel putting people on the map now.
Oh, dude, Fusion. I feel like every time I look at Instagram, there's just more UFC fighters in there every day.
There's
So
so many now.
killer Jim. Who are like some of your main partners in there, like that you're working with every day?
Terrence is probably one of the number one. Um, Julio Chavez, man, that guy is good. He's not in the UFC. I think he's like, I don't want to get his record wrong, so I'm not going to say his record.
He
But
just fought Brandon Lopez, I know, in Cage Fury,
okay,
or
he's
last
he's
year maybe.
he's really good, and I'm surprised he's not in the UFC because he's the one in the gym that gives me the most trouble. So definitely, I've been working with him a lot. And then Phil Rowe, because he's 6'4" and my opponent's 6'2" or 6'1" or something like that. So working with a tall guy just to make sure my range is in check.
And then,
Um,
sorry, go ahead.
and Christian Lawson, because he's another 6'2" guy. Just making sure they're rangy, lanky guys, and I'm just making sure I know what my range looks like.
And then, like, how are you looking at this fight? Because, like you said, long, rangy. A lot of fans are saying, "Hey, this is a striker's delight all day." Like, does this stay standing? Does this hit the floor? What do you envision this fight looking like?
So honestly, I feel like I am a complete fighter. Striking, grappling, wrestling, it doesn't really matter. Um, on the feet, I like to strike. I'm known as a striker. I'm known for my striking, Tiger Muay Thai, all that stuff. So I like to strike. We'll see. All fights start on the feet anyway, so we'll see if he can make it out of the first.
Now, are you ready? I only asked this because I'm friends with Matt Frivola, who just fought BSD and Faraz Ziam. Are you
Yeah.
ready for the large amounts of French hate coming your way in the DMs? Have you gotten any of that yet?
Just a few. I've actually, this is gonna be funny. I actually have French people saying, I hate that you're fighting. How do you say his name? I don't want to butcher his name.
Faraz Ziam, I believe.
I'm gonna say Ziam. All right,
There you
so
go.
I know you're fighting Ziam. He's a French guy. I'm gonna root for you. Keep it quiet. But do your best out there. I wish you both luck. And it's like, oh damn. So the French are actually on my side. I have gotten like 3 or 4 messages where I was like, Ziam's gonna fuck you up. And I was like, okay.
Well, we'll find out. But
Yeah.
well, hey, man. I mean, a win here, 5 in a row. I know Ziam's been tweeting, with a win, he wants a ranked opponent next. I assume that's the same case with you. A win here, you want the rankings.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I believe a win here puts us in the rankings, no matter who. It's got to be. It's got to be at least the number between your name or by your name, 15 at a minimum.
Are you eyeing at all a potential like return date after this? Because I only ask because I hear April is gearing up, rumoring to be heading to Miami, which is near your neck of the woods. So could that be something of interest to you?
Back here, yeah. So February and then back at it at April is yeah. I walk out of here untouched like my last fight. We're doing April.
Now, is it still John Silva or Paddy Pimblett you want next?
Paddy Pimblett won't fight me. I think he's fighting Michael Chandler.
That's the rumor. He's very selective.
See, he's super selective and he's very babied. But yeah, I mean whoever they throw at me, I never really say no.
I know fans still obviously want that Dober fight. Gene Silva, like you said before, would be a great fight. So
But he's a 45er and he made it clear that he wants to stay at 45.
Silva, you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He
he made that pretty clear.
yeah, I think he fought 55 on like a short notice opportunity, but he's going to be staying down at featherweight. So hey, maybe the Dober rematch would be great. But like you said, rankings hopefully anyways. So I don't believe either of those guys are ranked. So maybe it would be a different name. And another question I have for you is obviously like retirement's a long way away, but you love content creation. We were talking about it before. You got the great background, good camera, quality camera, and all that. I don't know if you know, but Stefan Struve, old UFC heavyweight, is actually an MMA media member. I saw him at UFC 309 in the media room. Is that an avenue you see yourself taking, or at least
Oh,
like
that would be
content creation?
amazing. Yeah, that would be so cool. A friend of mine, Danny Mosaic, he actually shoots for Karate Combat, Game Bread, and UFC. And honestly, I would love to trail along as like an intern to figure out how he's doing everything and then make it like a job. So I like media. I like my camera. I like doing all this stuff. I got every piece of equipment you could think of, drones, like everything. I know how to use it all. So I think going into media after my career would be fun.
A lot of fighters, they're like, I'm gonna coach or corner or whatever it be afterwards,
Mhm.
and not many guys say the content side of things. Like, what sort of like legs up would that give you? Just being a fighter yourself, now creating content for the sport.
I can ask questions that people don't really know, questions that people would be interested to hear. Um, and I feel like I can force out details that most fighters don't want to share.
You just talking about like your own experience and getting personal with other
Yeah,
fighters,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hey man, I train, but I'm only a white belt, so I can't relate to, you know,
For
fighting in an
sure.
octagon and all that. But yeah, I think that would be awesome to just get you more fighters involved with interviewing other fighters, stuff like that. It's just
I always had an interest in interviewing fighters after fights, but it would be more based on like what the fight did for them, what they learned from the fight, what they were thinking during the fight. Do they remember the fight? Because a lot of fighters don't.
yeah.
And what's crazy is it's very hard for a fighter to go fight and then to replay the fight in their head. You can't re-envision the fight.
Is that because of adrenaline or just
I have
recency
no
bias?
idea. It's just weird.
Interesting. So
Like
like
in
you're
my mind, I cannot. put myself back in the fight.
Even now, like this far removed, let's
Yeah.
say, like really,
Yeah, like fighting Vyacheslav, I can't see through my eyes what that fight looked like. I only know it from watching a video.
it's got to be due to the adrenaline dump, I
It has
guess,
to
or
be.
something. Yeah.
It's very weird.
Very interesting. I guess that's why we have, 2024. You just go rewatch it, right?
Yeah.
Well, your division, a lot of noise right now. Arman taking on Islam, 311. Who do you got in that one? Who's the next champion?
Arman's good. I've trained with him many, many times. Uh, very, very good. I've never trained with Islam. Islam, I feel like is bigger than Arman, and definitely I feel like there's a wrestling advantage. Even though Arman can wrestle, I think Islam's wrestling is just a little better. That's going to play a big role because keeping him down is hard. Uh, I would like to see I would like to see Arman come on top, being a past training partner of mine.
It'd be
We'll
cool just to
see
shake
how he
up the
plays out.
division too.
I think if he embraces striking a little more, because he throws like spinning heel kicks and stuff. He'll get out there. So I think if he does that, shock Islam and maybe catch him with something.
Yeah, that fight's crazy. The co-main event, Marab and Umar is crazy. That's a good card in
Yeah,
LA.
that's wild.
And this next question, I don't even want to ask it, but like I don't know, journalistically, I kind of have to. 155, there used to be a guy named Conor McGregor in the division, right? Who knows what
Yeah.
he's up to now? But I just saw there's like a rumor he's going to be boxing Logan Paul. Does that even make sense? Is that something you'd even watch?
It's not something I would watch, but it's something I want for myself. I get the whole opportunity portion, especially with your name fading away, like Connor, fighting an up and coming content creator, media actor, all that stuff, fighting one of these guys, and the contract amount, 500 mil, was that it?
Yeah,
Bro,
apparently 250 each.
I'll fight a grizzly bear for 500 mil.
For
Bro,
real.
put some, put him in the cage with it. Like, that's what I mean. He's staying relevant. He's making money. He's doing money calls.
Now,
Definitely a better option for him.
do you watch any of those influencer fights at all or nah?
Not really. I watched the Mike Tyson one because I come from Mike Tyson's gym. So
Sure.
I was like, okay, I like watching Mike Tyson fight. He's 60 years old, but let's, see if he still moves the same. I think that fight, he was scripted. And I know that's weird, but I swear, because I've seen him train, even at 55 years old. I've seen him train. I know that he is more or capable of doing a lot more than what he did. He held back so much, and I could tell.
Now you see him train. Obviously, like he posts those clips before the fight where he's going crazy, like insane montages.
Yeah.
And then people are like, whoa, it's only 5 seconds. Then they cut. He takes a 30-minute break and does it again. Is this true? Or can that guy really still work for like 10,
He
15,
can
20
work.
minutes?
He can work pretty good. Um, but the thing is, he's 60 years old. His
Sure.
body doesn't do a lot. I'm 30. I'm in my 30s, and I don't feel like my body works the same as 23 or 25. Even not even 25. My body does not work the same.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't really support the Paul brothers in any aspect there,
I don't either.
especially
I don't like
fighting
him.
legends like that. But hey, man, money talks. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna make what is it, $40 million, right? Something like that,
Something like that.
and you're 60 years old, who makes $40 million at 60 years old? Nobody.
Yeah,
And
I'll go
you made it in, what was it, 10 minutes?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, let's go.
be a fool to say no for real.
Yeah,
But
you really would.
just because we're on the topic of boxing, obviously, very well-rounded MMA fighter. You have wins in every possible way, but a lot of people, fans, whatever you want to call it, they think you are one of the best boxers in UFC. Just pure boxers. Some of the
Good.
ways your fights go. I agree. So what I like to do on Home of Fight is I like to do a pound for pound best segment with some of you guys and you representing boxing, if you will. Let's do a pound for pound best UFC boxer segment. I'll give you two names. You pick the winner. The winner moves on. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Easy enough. So first up, and this is all pound for pound, no weight classes. We're just going on skill. First up is going to be Piotr Jan or Cody Garbrandt. Who's the better boxer?
Boxing, Piotr.
Piotr Jan moving on. What about Piotr Jan or Jack Della Maddalena?
Cody Garbrandt. I'm sorry, next one. I was just making sure I got that right.
You had to make sure.
Yeah, yeah.
You still
Next
sticking with
one.
Piotr?
Cody Garbrandt might have better boxing, but uh, Piotr can hit, and Cody seems to not hit people, so not anymore. Next, yeah, let's
Next up,
stick.
Piotr Jan, Jack Della Maddalena.
Jack's tight boxing. I'll go with Jack. The
JD,
tight boxing makes up for some of the wild stuff.
what about JDM or Nate Diaz?
Oh, I hate Nate's boxing. I'm gonna stay with JDM.
What do you hate about Nate's boxing?
He is
Sloppy?
so sloppy,
Yeah.
bro. He's so sloppy.
Hey man, that the durability is what wins him those fights, right?
I don't know if you watch my fights, but I don't like to get hit, and I don't get hit a lot at all. So
That's a smart move in
that's
my opinion,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
All right, well, what about Jack Della Maddalena moving on or another Florida boy, Jorge Masvidal?
Um, Jack, moving on.
JDM moving on again. This
Yep,
one might trip it up. Conor McGregor.
he's not a boxer, so JDM, yeah.
Not a boxer.
We're talking straight boxing.
Yeah, just straight boxing. Just
Yeah,
just
JDM.
boxing. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it, man. I love it. Throwing McGregor aside, JDM moving on. What about JDM or one of the GOATs, Anderson Silva?
Not a boxer. JDM.
And I'm only putting these two on the list because they have pro boxing matches. So
I put Madalena up there because of how he boxes. Tight
sure.
defense, short hooks, technical. JDM's going up.
JDM beat Francis Ngannou if they're the same size.
Oh, for sure. Francis is another sloppy guy. I can't even I can't even describe his fighting style. He's getting better now, especially that he's mixing it up. But when I watched him fight, oh my God, did he fight the
Battle of
Beast, right?
Giants.
I don't even
You
remember.
talking
All
about
I know,
PFL, Renan Ferreira?
no, he was fighting in the UFC, but the fight started and he was just throwing hands
Jairzinho
left,
Rosenstrike. Boom, 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 boom.
yeah, left and right, and just praying on something to connect. And he hits hard, so if he
It
connects,
connected.
you get
Yeah.
knocked out. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite knockouts ever.
Oh
That
my
was crazy.
God.
And that was like I don't remember if that was the Apex or just an empty arena. It was during COVID. So like you just heard
That's
and
right.
got,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely horrible. So, anyways, though, JDM moving on. This is where it gets hard with these last three or four. JDM or Max Holloway.
Max Holloway.
Max Holloway finally dethroning
If
JDM.
he sticks to just boxing, his output with defense is good.
That's the name of the game, man. Boxing only here. So, what about Max Holloway? We've seen this fight before. Max Holloway or Dustin Poirier?
Straight boxing. I think Dustin. I think Dustin has better boxing.
So, there's only two names left.
There's no output for Dustin, but he will connect.
Justin's clean too. Just his like bag work, just the way he very clean boxing. Some of my favorite to watch. But Dustin Poirier or Ilya Taporia.
Ilya, because he boxes exactly like I do. And I think my boxing is good.
Well, that's pretty good segue into my last person here. Then what about Ilya Taporia or Mike Davis?
Damn, I think me. I gotta say myself. Not just because of that, but he has tight defensive boxing, but I feel like he lacks head movement and evasion. He's more stay tight, sit in the pocket, rip body shots because he's small. Yeah, I think I can work a little more than he can.
So Mike Davis, best pound for pound pure boxer in the UFC, eh?
I'm gonna take it.
I love it, man. I love it. I think you're actually the first person that said, maybe not, but one of the first people that said themselves in these segments. And I throw you guys in there for a reason. You're one of the best boxers in the UFC, so I like that you actually gave yourself the nod there. And it's kind of hard to disagree with that.
I feel good. I'll show my boxing. I'll show my boxing this fight.
February 1st, baby. But Mike, before I get you out of here, man, fans all around the world, tons and tons of people looking forward to this first fight of 2025. So anything you'd like to say to everybody?
Yeah, tune in February 1st. I'm back. This year is going to be my breakout year. I said it was going to be last year. Freak accidents happen. My apologies. Follow me on Kick, Mike Davis UFC. I'm going to be streaming again. Just got my verification badge back. So I'll be on there, giving you guys insight on the whole trip. So once I get to Saudi, I'll be live streaming every day or every other day, depends on what I have to do. But I will be on there showing you guys what weight cut goes like with me, Terrence, Lucas. And we're bringing I think Sherrard is coming out. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he was one of my best friends. He lives in Vegas. He's a UFC contender on the Contender Series. Um, that's pretty much it.
So is it still
I'm
Beast
ready to
Boy?
show
We
out.
we going
It's
Beast Man anytime or still Beast Boy?
no, I'm gonna say Beast Boy.
I'm just messing with you, man. But Mike, thank you
I
so
I
much for the
had
time,
thoughts
dude.
of I had thoughts of changing it, but
Did you to Beast Man?
no, to
All right,
Majin
you got to
Mike
explain that a
Davis.
little bit before I get you out of here.
The Majin Mike Davis is Majin's from Dragon Ball Z.
Majin Buu.
Uh, yeah, Majin Buu, but the M normally is placed upon people who have been controlled by Master Babidi, and Babidi puts the M on there to it's not to, but it's a symbol of like mastery of the mind and maximizing your potential. So you're able to bring out parts of you that are untapped, which is why Majin Vegeta was so strong. Um, and I think that would be, good because I have the Majin symbol tattooed on my neck.
That's deep, dude. I like that. All right, so for the outro, then I'm gonna try this. Okay, you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, February 1st, don't miss it. Mike Majin Davis
Nah, we're
fighting.
going Majin Mike.
All right, rewind it.
Yeah.
February 1st, Saudi Arabia. Majin Mike Davis
There you
fighting
go.
for Ziam. Don't miss it. UFC Fight Pass and ESPN Plus, all that good stuff. Mike, thank you so much, man. Great to meet you. Kick some ass. All right.
Yeah, of course. You too.